Good morning, all. I think we're live. How are you? How are you doing? I'm Karen, the Plant Power Coach. I'm a plant-based nutrition health coach, and I help people make plant-based living easy, simple, fun, in order to help them achieve their health and their weight goals. And I'm here most weeks, Monday in the Southern Hemisphere, Sunday night in the Northern Hemisphere, to give you my best tips and tricks and mindset shifts to help you make plant-powered living easy. Now, people often say to me, I'm thinking of going plant-based, but the thing that holds me back is not knowing even where to start. So I thought I would dedicate this session to anyone who's out there who's considering making the switch, or for anyone who may be fairly new on their journey but is still a little bit lost and confused. So if you watched last week's video on the 9 C's of habit change, you'll notice that there are quite a few steps in this that are the same. So obviously these are quite important steps. Now, firstly, I'd just like you to give up the idea that this is a diet. The word diet brings up thoughts of punishment, of deprivation, and like it's a short-term solution to solve a problem. But whole food plant-based is a lifestyle. It's different. So it's not a short-term punishment at all. It's not a short-term punishment for being bad. And when it's embraced fully, it's definitely not a lifestyle of limitation or deprivation. So you can make it work for your taste buds and your preferences, definitely. And if you're generally healthy, obviously there are some fairly strong guidelines as to what you can and can't eat and what's healthy and what's not. But if you're generally healthy and you're not trying to reverse any particular disease or to lose a significant amount of weight, then you're able to bend those rules somewhat and still remain healthy and within a healthy weight range. But if you're looking to drop a significant amount of weight or reverse a chronic illness, for example, then you probably have to be just a little bit more strict. But that doesn't mean that your choices of food are necessarily, hugely limited. As I've said before, there are around 300,000 edible plants on this planet, according to Dr. Will Bulsiewicz, the Gut MD. So there's a wonderful array of tastes to explore. And switching to a plant-based diet is, it's easier than you may think. And most people, whether plant-based or not, are usually cooking quite a limited number of recipes in their, repeatable recipe stable. And the average family only eats about 8 or 9 different dinners on rotation. So really, when you think about it, that's probably what you're trying to replace. So let's dive in. The first step is knowing your why. Now, this was step 2 in the 9 C's of habit change last week, so it's very, very important. With any change that you're making, knowing why you're doing this is hugely important. So just take a moment and pause and understand what your motivation is for becoming plant-based. And getting clear on this motivation to change your lifestyle is going to help ground you every time that you are faced with a choice between eating something that is plant-based versus going back to your old ways of eating that may not necessarily be serving your health. The second is identifying your support. Now, this is community in the 9 C's of habit change. So who in your life supports your decision to make this transition? This is a radical new way of eating for you, potentially, compared to how you ate growing up. So notice what thoughts or feelings come up as you imagine telling your family and your friends about this decision that you have made. And begin to notice how you would like to be supported through this transition. This could be through them just cheering you on from the sidelines, could be trying new recipes that you cook for them, exploring new vegan restaurants or plant-based restaurants with you. It really is important to have your loved ones on your side and supporting you, and not trying to drag you off track or tempting you with foods that you don't want to eat, or even criticizing you for your decision. You may have to reevaluate some friendships, and that's okay. And you don't necessarily have to remove these people from your life, but you may just need to reassess how you connect with them in future. If your connection in the past was all around food, then you may need to come up with healthier ways that you can connect, such as nature walks or movies, or things that actually don't involve food altogether. And just realize that these people are probably just a little scared of losing the you that they once knew, and losing the ways that you used to connect, particularly if it was over food. Um, they may start to feel a little threatened as well, particularly if you start to show results. They may not understand the path you're on. So just be gentle with them and reassure them that your connection doesn't have to be affected by the change that you're making. Number three is proceed gradually. Now, realize you don't have to dive into this straight away. It doesn't have to be all or nothing straight away. You can take this as slow as you want, and you can experiment as you go. Find out what you do and what you don't like. If this is a brand new way of eating for you, then just honoring that learning curve and any challenges that come up for you along the way will be really important. And just learn and grow as you go. You're essentially learning new ways to shop. You're shopping in different parts of the supermarket. You're also learning how to read food labels. You're learning how to prepare new types of meals. There's a lot of learning going on here. You're also learning how to socialize with other people in a new way. So, you don't have to dive straight in and just be all or nothing right now. You can start each week by choosing how many meals you'd like to make as plant-based for that week potentially, and then just gradually increase that number until you've reached your goal. You might want to take some of your favorite meals and say, if I can make this plant-based, then I'm good to go. Which leads me into my fourth step, which is cooking at home. So switching to a vegan diet doesn't always mean healthy. There are plenty of vegan junk foods and fake meats and cheeses, and not all of these are necessarily great for our health. A little bit once in a while is not going to hurt too much, but as I said, if you've got some significant health or weight challenges, then you may want to leave those behind completely. While you don't have to cook 100% of your meals at home, learning how to cook a bunch of healthy plant-based meals is going to be an essential skill for you. There are also vegan food delivery services available in most countries now. You can also take up that offer as well to make cooking a lot easier for you, and also introduce you to some new dishes. You don't have to make recipes or eat foods that are completely unfamiliar to you. For example, if you've never eaten a lentil in your life, they're incredibly healthy, but you don't have to suddenly just think that all you need to eat is lentils. Many of your favorite dishes can be made plant-based, or a lot of the dishes that you may be eating currently could be plant-based. There is a three-step simple method you can also use to come up with nine plant-based meals if you're looking to replace nine meals in your repertoire already. So if you follow this three-step approach, this can be another way to help you get there. So the first is just to think of 3 meals that you already enjoy that are already plant-based. Okay, so common ones are things like a vegetable stir fry, or a vegetable stew, tomato soup, pumpkin soup, or tomato pasta, things like that. They're already plant-based without you even knowing it. You could then think of recipes that you already make that can be adapted to be plant-based. For example, you could make a chili recipe that's made with beans instead of meat. You could make bean burritos instead of beef burritos, veggie burgers instead of hamburgers, grilled eggplant and roasted peppers instead of grilled chicken sandwiches, and many soups and stews and casseroles and things like that can, just with a few tweaks, be made plant-based dishes as well. And third is use the power of Google. Search. You're more than welcome to come and join my Facebook group, Plant Power Health. I have a free 15 plant powered menu free giveaway for anybody who wants it as they join. And there's a whole heap of other recipes that are tagged in my group. Feel free to come in and join and check those out as well. And yeah, as I said, the power of Google. The power of Google. There's so many recipes that are free and online these days that you can dive into. And with a few of those simple changes, you'll just come up with your 9 recipes just like that. um, and after coming up with your main meals, then coming up with new options for breakfast and lunch are really easy. You know, for breakfast, you could try things like smoothies or smoothie bowls or granola or oats or scrambled tofu with grilled tomato and avocado. Really easy. And then for lunches, you could do things like sandwiches with spreads like hummus and cheese-free pesto, a white bean pate with lemon and garlic, for example. Pasta salads are great. Or you could have dinner leftovers. Dinner leftovers always make great lunches. And it means you don't have to cook again. Right, I'm sure amongst all of those suggestions, you're going to be able to come up with some great recipes to add to your repertoire. And the 5th step now is to focus on the positive. So, yeah, we still live in a world where animal products are dominant. And while vegan food options are increasing, they really are still a minority compared to, all the options for a standard Western way of eating. So every time you're confronted with a choice as to whether you're going to eat plant-based or take your focus back to animal products, just focus on your why. And remember what you are gaining as a result of your new way of life. Focus on the positive. And number 6 is creating success while dining away from home. This is a biggie for many people. And if you can nail this part, then you are set, okay? You can handle any situation. If you can cook at home and you can find food easily anywhere you go, you've got it nailed. And honestly, these days, it's not hard. But removing animal products from your meals is just one way to make sure that your meals are plant-based. But just got to remember when eating out, you may need to ask your server some questions. For example, many meals on the menu may look like they're plant-based or vegan, but they may be cooked in animal products, like, for example, soup or risotto may be cooked in a meat broth, or other foods may be cooked in lard or in butter. Some foods often have hidden animal ingredients, so it is always good just to double check. International restaurants can be a really great bet for finding foods if you're dining out. Now, I'm saying international. I'm based here in Australia, so I'm thinking, foods outside of the standard Western way of eating. So places like Italian, Chinese, Mexican, Thai, Japanese, Indian even. A lot of these cultures, have a wide variety of vegan or plant-based dishes. As a lot of their traditional cultures were built on a diet rich in plants, and meat consumption was actually very low. But you know what? If you don't see anything on the menu when dining out, just ask. Many chefs love the challenge of whipping up something different and creative. And they can usually whip up something as easy as a veggie pasta or a stir fry if you ask them. I've done this many times when I've been out with friends, and oftentimes the result on my plate looks a hell of a lot more interesting than on everybody else's plate, and everyone's a little bit jealous. So there you go, try that one out. Now, if you are attending, say, a catered event, say like, I don't know, a ball, a gala, a wedding, something like that, make the arrangements before you turn up. Don't simply assume that they're going to have something on the menu. But, however, if you've forgotten to do this and you feel like you're caught out, just ask the waiter beforehand, before you're served, and just ask them if they've got any plant-based options available. Oftentimes other people may have requested that, so they have got a few things prepared in advance, and they do know that people often turn up to these events having forgotten to ask for their requirements. Okay, so just ask. These days most airlines offer you plant-based meals if you book in advance, or you can always take your own food on board with you. You just can't often take it off on the other end. Now, summer barbecues, that can be a challenge for some people down here in the Southern Hemisphere. We are coming into summer. But they can be amazing. You can have a lot of fun with this. You know, you can make plant-based burgers. There's some amazing recipes online these days, and you can, you know, say whip up your own patties in advance, put them in the freezer or put them in the fridge. You can also barbecue marinated tofu, which is amazing. Get that nice sort of crispness on the outside. And you can also cut up big chunks of vegetables. Fresh vegetables on the barbecue are divine, especially when they get the nice black char. Think things like potato, eggplant, zucchini, corn on the cob is amazing. Look, even broccoli, when it gets that char, oh, amazing. Same with green beans. Like, just play with it. Have fun. If you are traveling, say you're traveling long distance, make sure you pack plenty of snacks in the car. Maybe get a chili cooler and put things like pre-prepared sandwiches or smoothies, or you can get fresh fruit, raw veggies with dips like hummus or guacamole. There's many ways you can keep yourself fulfilled when you're on the road. When you are, say, on holiday, or traveling for work or things like that, use local fresh markets or supermarkets to find fresh produce. Many supermarkets at holiday destinations these days actually sell things like pre-made sandwiches, you know, pre-cut veggies and fruits and dips. A lot of them come with the cutlery too, because they know that people are traveling and they don't necessarily have the cutlery with them. So there's a lot of options out there. So remember, you know, vegan and plant-based is not so new these days. There's a lot more places to shop and there's a lot more options than there once were. It's not so difficult once you actually start doing this. My seventh suggestion is to find yourself a great local or plant-based medical provider. So you can Google plant-based doctors or nutritionists in your area to find someone who has the knowledge and the experience and is supportive of your journey. Remember, most doctors don't have nutrition training, and many nutritionists are taught the standard way of eating. So talking to someone who is plant-based and has studied plant-based nutrition is going to be key to having them on board with your journey, particularly if you've got any health complications that you may need assessing. And my last, number 8, is don't fear failure, okay? Be gentle on yourself. Don't judge yourself or beat yourself up. It's okay to slip up. The best thing is just to simply pick yourself up, dust yourself off, get straight back on that horse again, and think of the transition as a journey, and just deeply connect with your why you're on this journey, and just keep going. It's okay. So I hope you got something from that. If you are new to plant-based living, or you are thinking of transitioning to plant-based living. And if you'd like a copy of my 8 tips to transition, please reach out to me, send me a DM, or leave a comment in the comments below this video, or you can grab it from my Facebook group, Plant Power Health, as I said. So if you're not already a member of the group, I'd really love to invite you to come and join. Come and grab a copy of the 8 tips inside. We're a small, supportive community. I share lots of information to help make plant-based living easy for you. There's lots of recipes in there as well. Yeah, hit me up for a chat anytime if you'd like. Also grab my free 15 easy and delicious plant-based recipes. That seems to be a hit these days as well. So thank you, folks. I hope you really enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Ciao for now.